And welcome back to our next Battle for Indiana game. And tonight we are getting to a bit of a hype match here. It's going to be Ball State versus IU. We've all been hyping this up internally in the back room here. I'm Rory, aka Artom, the most creative username known to mankind. Joining me here.
Once again, I am Aiden, also known as Inmonic.
And we are so excited. So IU has been a bit of a sleeper hit here at Battle for Indiana. We have Ball State, we have Purdue Northwest. They're kind of like these titans, these sort of powerhouses of Battle for Indiana that have been hyped up quite a bit here. And they have programs behind them. They have coaches here. Like, these are very organized and set things. And whereas IU really is just 5 guys kind of banding together and just playing some really good League of Legends, and they killed it at qualifiers. They've been doing really well so far, and I'm really excited to see them play.
Yeah, that is pretty much unheard of in League. You don't often hear about just 5 people that just like to play the game and also being amazing.
Well, we'll have to see how it pans out. We are going to be moving into draft pretty shortly here. Very excited to see what picks are going to be used. I'm imagining since Ball State and IU, these sort of higher level teams, we're going to be seeing some pretty standard stuff, maybe some comfort picks being banned out as well. We are going to be having that Rel banned first. I believe Ball State is red side here, so they will be on the right, while IU here on the left. That Rel ban coming out first ban, not quite selected yet. For Ball State will be that Maokai.
Yeah, what do you think that Maokai is for? You think they're banning out jungle?
Oh my gosh, I have been muted this entire time.
Oh no! Well,
I am sorry, everyone.
Well, a quick reintroduction to Aiden, aka Imonic here.
Hello, everyone.
Getting back into this ban phase, so I do believe that Maokai, as always, Maokai is just a solid ban, and generally, always a really, really strong champion. We are going to be seeing that Xerath. We're going to be I know that the mid laner for IU does play a really scary Xerath, so this might be a comfort pick ban there. Fiora, Silk Flannels Fiora is terrifying, and Ball State wins every time he plays it, so that's just a very safe choice coming out from IU. And of course, that Jarvan ban coming up next to the Syndra ban. So once again, kind of going at a mix here between Ball State and IU's comfort picks and these more meta picks.
Yeah, I am interested to see what they decide to first pick here. First picking Orianna.
Yeah, that Orianna is left open.
Just about the safest mid lane pick you can go is if Syndra's taken away.
Yeah, so you do have a couple options here. You could start locking in your jungle. You could start looking to lock in that bot lane early, the Blaster 3. Just a really, really scary ADC player overall, kind of always has been. Orianna, I like the Orianna pick. I think it's always very, very solid. You can't really go wrong with Orianna, especially with just how crazy she is this past. We've already seen Orianna being played to great effect in this tournament. We will be locking in that Renekton. Always a solid pick here. Really do like it. And Ahri, I know, but the Ball State mid laner, known for his Ahri play here. So this is, again, just a comfort pick that we're getting out of Ball State.
Oh yeah, then we've got the Cassante pick going through very, very strong on this patch. Even after the hotfix nerfs in just the last day or so, he's still very strong. Although we did see the Renekton come out on the winning side last time this matchup happened, I'm interested to see how these 2 top-tier teams are able to play this matchup.
Silk Flannel's top lane is not to be underestimated. We are going to be seeing that Vi coming out as well. So there's just a very scrappy kind of comp that's being drafted here on the side of IU. Meanwhile, we're going to be hovering that Xayah. I really, really like Xayah with this overall. I think that's going to be a solid pick, and we will have Blaster 3 on that Xayah. Blaster 3 able to pilot any ADC pick that's even remotely viable to perfection. Going to be banning out the Jinx in response.
And Ball State's scariest player on the scariest ADC that there is right now. If I was IU, I would be sweating right now.
It is, yeah, and there's an immediate Rakan ban. I was about to inquire, maybe you don't want to set up the best ADC with the most naturally synergistic support here, and that is going to be the immediate Rakan ban. So you do have quite a lot of ban options here open as Ball State, right? The bot lane for IU has yet to be drafted. You've taken out that Jinx. You can take out quite a few ADC picks here. You can take out quite a few support picks here. We do know that Vayne is very strong this patch, although I believe we have yet to see Vayne coming out, and we are going to be seeing that Ziggs ban just shutting down any idea of some mage bot laner being used at all.
And now we are sitting here looking to see what IU decides they want to ban. They are looking to ban out either jungle or support right here, and they go for jungle, taking that Talia away from Ball State's jungler.
Yeah, and the Xin Zhao will be hovered. This is interesting. Xin Zhao, there is a lot of...
Oh!
All right, ignore what I just said. The Aphelios lock-in. Blaster 3 has repeatedly, in fact, said that Aphelios is his favorite champion. So Blaster 3 will now have to be kind of reckoning against that. I'm super curious to see how that plays out. I do like the Lulu with that Aphelios. You just want to enable your Aphelios to go and do Aphelios things, right? That all-in is very, very, very scary. So you're going to be having that Nautilus and Nautilus Xayah. That is a nasty combo. Xayah just having that really strong all-in to be paired up with the Nautilus CC here.
And for people who aren't too familiar with champions, Aphelios is known as definitely the hardest ADC to play in the game. Probably one of the hardest champions in general in the game.
Aphelios does have a lot of very unique play style in terms of how you want to play him. He does have those 4 guns, and piloting him does require a high degree of mastery, but both these teams are amongst the strongest, at least on paper, coming into battle for Indiana here. So what do you think of these drafts here? I do find some of Ball State's choices interesting. I'm not entirely sure. I'm a huge fan of the Ahri. I know it is a comfort pick, but it really just, it's Ahri into Orianna. And that just feels like such a stark contrast in how, right, just meta both these comps are.
Ball State is definitely going to have to play very well in the mid lane. It's not going to be just an easy win because they are not on the most meta of characters right here. And they also have a kind of an odd jungler ganking for him. Xin Chao's not seen too often. First time we've seen him today for sure. And yeah, they're just going to, hopefully they have the skill to outplay them with this just slightly off meta comp. They are definitely playing a little more for the early game though here.
Yeah, Ball State does have a fairly strong early game overall, especially with that Xin Zhao. So with Xin Zhao, you are going to be wanting to playing fast and aggressive, and you're going to be wanting to just play for this early game with the Renekton as well. That could be a really scary proposition for Head Prince on the Cassante if IU is not careful here. I think it's interesting and unique. I do really just sort of like the scrappiness coming out of both these comps. There's just a lot of all-in and a lot of lockdown from both of them. You have that Orianna ultimate, you got the Shockwave, you got Nautilus, who is basically just locked down as a character, and there's just so much all-in potential from the Ahri, the Xin, the Xayah, the Renekton. Really, it feels like Ball State's comp is just going to look at someone and select them, dump all your abilities on it, and blow up. And it really feels like IU is running something quite similar here.
Very similar. I think these are going to be some very, very brawly team fights. They are just all going to dive in on each other, and we will see who deals more damage, because that is, in the end, whoever's able to pick the priority target is probably going to win the fight, but damage is going to matter a whole lot in these fights because they're looking to do pretty much the same thing.
And we talked about it. That's the importance of the early game here. We talked about how Ball State might have a stronger early game, at least with some of these champions on paper, but IU here certainly maybe not necessarily as dominating a presence in the early game, but they are still going to have to be playing for this early game because, like you said, both these team comps are going to be boiling down to sort of grab somebody who maybe oversteps or get a nice flank off, and everyone is just going to jump on them.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, you can't do that if you're just kind of hanging out early, going even. You're going to be wanting to establish a lead here and maybe even stomp your lane opponent if you can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm particularly interested in this Cassante-Renekton matchup up top. Cassante definitely outscales the Renekton, but as we've already seen today, Renekton can fight early, and he is looking for that early fight. So is Cassante going to be able to survive those early fights? That's what I'm looking for, especially in the top lane.
And we have to consider players' individual ability here, too. Now, neither of us are super familiar with the roster of IU. We've taken a look at their profiles. We've done a little bit of research on them, but both of us being from Ball State are a bit more familiar with how Ball State plays. And we do know that Silk Flannel is kind of, he doesn't often get to play it. He's usually stuck on tank duty and he doesn't like it. But when he does get a chance to sort of play these brawly bruisers, these lane dominating things, he prefers Fiora, of course, but getting access to something like Renekton, he's good at these bruisers, and see in that into IU, I think is going to it's just going to be interesting to see how that plays out. It's going to come down to so much to player ability here.
I am sure he is excited to finally get to fight and he's not playing the tank, he is playing the dive. He is ready to show off his skill, and we'll see, is it going to work out here for him? And we're actually in game right now.
Yeah, we will be cutting to game very, very shortly. In the meantime, give me your prediction now. We've seen the draft. We've seen both these teams. We're a little bit more familiar with Ball State here, but what are you thinking?
Honestly, the drafts are so even, in my opinion. I have to just let my bias take over here. I am predicting Ball State is going to win, but I do not think it is going to be a quick and easy game like the other games have been. Although I'd say the last game wasn't the easiest.
No, certainly. I'm inclined to agree here. I do think Ball State does have a bit of an edge. I actually do like IU's draft just a bit more. I really like the Vi as opposed to the Sinzhao, and I do like the mid laner quite a bit more. But we are going to have to see how it plays. So we did see an early invade coming out from Ball State, spotting out a few members of IU. Not really going to make anything happen out there. We do see that Ball State is still sticking around. Wombat Baby on that Ahri looking for something, but the rest of IU just going to be moving to that top side instead.
Yeah, it looks like they're probably just going to end up trading red buffs here. Ball State's going to steal IU's red buff, but is BSU going to respond? I expect to see that Vi running up top and going and taking Ball State's red buff, but it does seem like she gets that. She's booking it straight to that red buff. She knows hers has been taken. She's going to invade as they start brawling in the mid lane.
Wombat Baby getting a nice trade-off with the Ahri, that electrocute doing some pretty good early damage. We've got Quokka and Blaster 3 in the bot lane. Look at that bot lane, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your eyes on it. Blaster 3 is known for some very flashy and very aggressive early laning. And speaking of aggressive early laning, Silk Flannel into High Prince here. I'm very excited to see how this plays out. And speaking of aggression, Boatlick is going to be jumping in only for the pause
And
to slow things down.
I'm very interested to see what we do at the end of this pause. This is a pretty tough place to pause. There was a gank going on right there.
Yeah, that is... I mean, so Combo King has just burned their flash as Oriana in this pause. And ONR kind of jumps in on an engage. I mean, your engage is over. Your engage is kind of over at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they are backing out. I don't think that gank went quite as they predicted. They are probably able to shove Combo King out of lane here. I think he's going to take a little more damage after this pause goes away.
Yeah, that does appear to be a Q. Yeah, that is a Q, I think, from Wombat Baby kind of flying out there. And I don't think Combo King's in a position to dodge that.
And it appears that we just have a bit of a comms issue on the side of Ball State. Two players are struggling to talk to each other, so we're just going to get that worked out. And in the meantime, we'll sit here and talk about the game.
Yeah, so we can take a look at sort of the rune choices. You know, that's going to dictate how you're going to be wanting to play the game here. We are getting these, of course, aggressive, scrappy runes here. Conqueror on Silk Flannel, really solid rune over Nectin. We've got the Conqueror on the Sinzhao, so not opting for that attack speed, going more for that scaling damage. Again, a very scrappy rune. Electrocute for that lane dominance for Wombat Baby. And then here, down in the bot lane, we've got the Lethal Tempo from Blaster, and the Glacial Augment from Quokka, really just specializing in that lockdown and start wailing into somebody as Zaya.
That Glacial Augment is going to be a problem if Nautilus is able to land one of his hooks. They are not moving for the rest of their lives if they get hit by anything.
Yeah, it is interesting, actually, that Loki Dosi opted to take the Ghost here. You're really going to be relying a lot on that Lulu to get you out of danger, or maybe relying on a counter gang from your Vi here to get you out of danger if Ball State can get a really solid hook off here.
Yeah, with the number of stuns on the side of Ball. Oh, and the game has started here.
And Combo King does escape, losing a flash. Ball State not quite able to finalize that engage. Silk Flannel and High Prince going to resume their trading. And the game, for now, will slow down. Ball State's aggression halted a bit in its tracks.
And it appears that, they're scrapping a little in the bot lane, poking some damage at the Nautilus right there. And do we have another pause? Nope, just a bit of a stutter there for us. And we are back looking at both. Every team is just slightly trading with one another, trying to get as little bit of an advantage as they possibly can. I am liking the CS lead that I'm seeing for the side of Ball State. 10 up already at this early point in the game.
Oh, and Silk Flannel is going to be jumping onto Prince there, but Prince going to immediately disengage. Blaster going to go for the root. Ball State's known for this early aggression. You talked about that CS Blaster 3. It was a bit of a running joke last year when he was playing for Ball State. He's a bit of a CS robot. His hands just have machines wired into them. He seems to hit every single creep. And these small trades are going to be coming out, but both teams really at this point are just looking for some kind of opportunity. Maybe it's a misstep, maybe it's a gank coming out from your jungler, but so far nobody really willing to commit to an all-in at this point in the game. Although, as I say, that's Silk Flannel going to be jumping onto High Prince here. High Prince looking for a re-engage. That Q3 is up. Meanwhile, in the all over the map, really. There's just so much going on. There is a bit of a scuffle in the bot lane. Blaster 3 and Quack are going to be forced back into the river, but both teams once again, going to disengage for a bit, waiting for that opening.
Neither team is giving ground here. Anyone gets low and they're able to back out and get out of the fight, to heal up and come back in later. This is just a close game right now. Any misstep could mean disaster for the enemy team, for either team.
Yeah, it really is just one of those situations where one small mistake can snowball into a massive problem. Once again, short trade coming out on the top lane. High Prince just going to disengage that constant mobility, keeping him relatively safe. And we do have that bot lane shutting up. Quokka going for the engage here. Loki Dosi going to be taken about half health. And once again, just a short trade coming out from Ball State.
Just slight trades. This is, we are seeing the Xin Chao invading the Vi, going to try to steal away that Raptors camp, but she is fighting for it. They're scrapping it out, having the 1v1, but Xin Chao doesn't want to fight anymore, backing out with the, I think he managed to steal away a few of the Raptors there, so not completely worthless invade.
Yep, gold is gold, and Silk Flannel does have the HP advantage, but doesn't quite want to take those Cassante Qs if he can help it. He's going to be hanging around that top lane, just keeping the wave there for the time being. The reset is coming out from Butler there, going to... Oh, and
what a
wow.
Beautiful hook. Yeah, Nautilus continues, hits the stun onto Aphelios. Blaster flashes forward. Can he finish it off? 1 HP, but Vice interjects, knocks him up, steals the kill onto Blaster. Is she going to finish it out? But a topside fight breaks out, and everyone is going down on Ball State's side right now. Quoko taken down. What a great gank from Vi right there.
That was disastrous for Ball State. Blaster 3 unable to quite secure that kill there, and the re-engage from Momentum going to be a huge problem in the meantime. I thought that was going to be an all-in from Wombat Baby, but Wombat Baby just going to once again disengage. Boatlick coming over here to just say hi. Hi, Prince. How you doing? We do have this dragon coming up for Ball State, and that is really Ball State very famous for trying to take these objectives early and fast, but you are down 3 kills already, and while you are farming up that gold lead, it's not quite as bad as it could be. It is still not ideal.
Great trades for IU right there. I will say the silver lining for Ball State, Blaster was not forced to miss like really any minions right there. He was able to get back in lane and catch the wave before the tower killed everything. So he is still dominating in terms of CS. And Loki didn't get a kill or an assist right there, so bot lane wise, the gold is still in Ball State's favor.
Yeah, there is a slight gold lead here for IU, but that's mostly due to the kills. And once again, farming is king. You hear it said in those YouTube guides that you watch and never listen to, but here you see it in action. Blaster 3 has been establishing a CS lead here and really is not affected too badly by this gank coming out from Embedded. And Ball State looking to take this Drake early.
Oh yeah, they're going for that Drake right as it spawns. It doesn't look like they're going to be contested by IU at all. And Rift Herald hasn't even spawned yet, so I believe. Oh, there's Mike. IU can't trade it back and take the Rift Herald quite yet. Ball State might be able to contest both objectives.
Ball State really famous for taking both objectives almost as soon as they spawn and taking them quickly with little recourse for punishment. And that is going to be first Drake coming for Ball State. We do have Boatlick still in that river, could potentially look for some kind of play onto this bot lane as that wave is pushing up, is hovering in the river there. Coming down. That is going to be spotted rather by that ward there. The Hex Flash coming out from Quokka, going to grab the Aphelios. Botlick going for the all-in, and Blast with 3 just takes down Loki Dosi, excuse me, no problem. Unable to quite get a kill on the Hiccup there, but grabbing the ADC's life for 0 recourse is what Ball State really wants at this stage.
Quokka is just a master at hitting these max range hooks. I keep thinking they're missing it, then they hit. It's crazy. It might not have worked out the first time for him, but right there, he is showing how good of a support he is as Wombat starts fighting Combo King. It's an all-out brawl in the mid lane, but Combo King whiffs the ult, or misses the ult as Wombat dodges out of it and
that
wins
Ari
that trade.
ultimate is a really nice disengage. Actually, that wasn't even an usage of the Ari ultimate, excuse me. That was just a missed shockwave on the side of Combo King. Does not feel good if you are IU here. That Rift Herald is coming up, and Ball State once again looking to move in on it. If you look at your mini-map, Botlick already on that Rift Herald. Ball State just going for these early objectives as quickly as they possibly can, and it's really hurting Indiana.
Yeah, if Indiana doesn't start contesting these objectives, despite winning in kills right now, they could start losing the game. It could start slipping from their grasps.
Are down a bit in gold, but Ball State once again just taking these objectives. That's what they're known for. They're just known for this really fast map-based style of play, although Silk Flannel might be trying to flex a bit there, going for an all-in on the Prince. Prince going to ult out, Silk Flannel going to pop the ult in response, but Embed is here with the re-engage, going to hop on the Silk Flannel. Silk Flannel taken very, very low and high. Prince is going to take him down. That is another kill for IU. We're talking about how Ball State's on top of these objectives, but they are not on top of these kills, and that too could be a serious problem for Ball State.
Yeah, with this more early game oriented comp from Ball State, it's really kill-wise and fight-wise not going their way. Indiana, despite what I said earlier, they could run away with this, just the fact that they scale a little better in my opinion.
Yeah, you do have those 2 bounties already onto the top lane and the jungler for the side of Indiana University. And Ball State is down about 1K gold here. Not the end of the world, but those kills do translate into money, and money translates into leads, and leads are something that you need to start fighting back against here. And we are going to be seeing a gank onto the mid lane. Botlick looking for something on Combo King, but Combo King is going to hit a beautiful shockwave. Embed going for the all-in here. Botlick will go in. The ult has been popped, but the duel will not go in Botlick's favor. That is a killing spree for Emended, excuse me, I almost said embedded. Embedded is going to now be sitting at a solid 3-0, and that is a great position to be as a Vi.
Another beautiful hit from Quokka. He doesn't miss onto the Xayah ult to get the quick kill onto Hiccup. Bot lane is where Ball State needs to focus right now, because that is where they are winning, that is where their gold is going, and lucky for them, that is the best place to have the gold.
Exactly. You really want that gold onto your ADC. You've got quite a bit of gold onto this Vi, onto this Cassante here, and we even see that Vi opting for a more bruiser build, trying to turn that gold into some more offensive stats here. But the raw damage that is in the ADC class is just going to make things difficult for Indiana here. Ball State perhaps a bit down, but by no means out. Silk Flannel just going to be trading with High Prince here, just trying to get CS under tower, trying to stop that top wave from collapsing in. This Drake is up in about a minute. We already have Ball State setting up vision control, once again going for that objective play.
And Cassante has finished his item up here in the top lane. I believe he is a little too tanky for Silk Flannel to take him down right now on his own. We're not going to be seeing this Cassante go down unless there is a gank to really give Silk Flannel some help up here.
And unfortunately for Silk Flannel, just because you're just already so behind, it might not be worth it for Ball State to invest too much resources into trying to make something happen in that top lane. In the meantime, we are going to be seeing quite a gathering down here in the bot side as Ball State looking for some kind of opening. They want this Drake bad. It is up in 15 seconds. If you can start establishing a Drake lead, that is going to be a thorn in Indiana's side. The channel coming out from the Vi, and the Cassante TP down might put Ball State in a bit of a pickle here, but a beautiful E from Blaster is going to stop that engage right in its tracks. Quokka taking the hook out to stay alive.
That is exactly what we're getting. A fight onto Combo King, just a little trade. They're going to drop Herald mid and try to get some plates there. I think that's about all they can do. Indiana is going to get their first objective of the match. and that's great for them. As I said earlier, I think the only way that they really might struggle here as of now is if they lose objectives, but they're getting them now.
It is important to note that that gold lead has shrunk quite significantly. Blaster is sitting on a bounty now as well, and that mid lane tower went quite low due to that Rift Herald coming out from Ball State. Ball State, recognizing that they maybe can't get this dragon, are instead just going to play for that top side of the map, get some resources there. Silk Flannel going to be shoving that wave in there just to try and deny some CS. So the High Prince is just content to take this fight outright. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Wombat Baby Polymorph is going to be forced to ult out, going to pop that Everfrost. And Silk Flannel, I'm not sure you win this, buddy, as High Prince is just going to be running him down. But ONR coming in with an excellent re-engage here. And Silk Flannel is unable to hype. Oh no! High Prince has so much damage, so much health, and that's just a double kill for the Cassante.
Oh my gosh, High Prince shows that he knows how to play this insane champion. He just 1v2'd them.
I'm a little speechless. That was... Silk Flannel got taken so low and was really going to be of no help in that fight. ONR was trying to find some sort of re-engage here. Do have a decent amount of damage as Xin, but it is no match in the face of the unstoppable monster known as Cassante. Now sitting on 4 kills. The pressure is on for Ball State to formulate a response. Once again, down about 2k gold here. Down, like I've said, but not out, as there are opportunities to come back. But that is a massive setback here for the Ball State Cardinals.
Ball State still has a massive chance at winning this just because of how much gold is on that Xayah right now. She hits first item before the Aphelios. She has a almost 40 CS lead. It's really looking good for this bot lane, and can they get enough of a lead to shut down this just massively ahead Cassante?
This Cassante is going to be a serious problem. Silk Flannel was trying to maybe farm some minions, but High Prince says, no, these are mine, and is just going to simply chase Silk Flannel away. Silk Flannel stuck in the horrifying position many of us know. You are a top laner who is behind, and you are on your own.
Silk Flannel is not allowed to get anywhere near that Cassante anymore, or else his life is forfeit. Now, there's a lot of movement coming down into the bot lane, although Quoko looks like he might be backing, so they're maybe not going to see any fights breaking out right now. I'd imagine Ball State is looking to see if they can take Herald right here, but that's a little rough with all the pressure that High Prince is putting onto the map with this Cassante right now.
Yeah, that Cassante is going to keep the top side of the map, a really scary area for Ball State to wander into, and this mid-prio is not super easy to establish here for Wombat Baby, especially with the threat of that Cassante. We do see that Silk Flannel has maneuvered down into the jungle. I think it's just grabbing a buff there. Yeah, just going to get the red buff, help out with that. And Ball State probably do, like you said, want to take this Herald. They're a very objective-based team, but the pressure is just a lot to deal with at the moment.
Yeah. Once team fights start breaking out, we are really just going to be looking towards that Xayah on Ball State's side, because outside of the Xayah, I'm not sure there's much they can do if a team fight breaks out. They really need to make sure that the Xayah does not get, at least dodges the Vi ult with her own ultimate, doesn't get Orianna ulted, doesn't get polymorphed. It is going to be a game of stay alive for Xayah.
Fortunately, this is a really solid comp for enabling that Xayah. You do have a lot of peel in that Renekton, in that Nautilus, in that Xin Zhao to an extent here as well, and in that Ari Charm as well. But it is going to be a quick and easy Rift Herald for IU here. Not much Ball State can do. Just play to the opposite side of the map and try and get something accomplished there.
And it's just looking, as the seconds go by, it's looking more and more rough for Ball State. There's still only a 1.3k gold lead on the side of Indiana. So Ball State is not out yet, but they need to start doing something. They need to be proactive on the map, get some picks, get some objectives, something, or else this lead is just going to further and further snowball into the way of IU.
Especially with a fed Cassante, you really do not want that happening. Ball State playing quite carefully here. That dragon is up in about 35 seconds, and Ball State, I mean, I've said it once, I'll say it again. They're just an objective-based team. They play for these dragons, these heralds, and they play for them hard. In the meantime, they're just going to be kind of just chilling, grabbing CS and farm when they can. They're really not looking to engage too heavily onto IU here just because they can't quite take a team fight at the moment. Although Indiana might not give them that chance, and the engage is actually going to come out from Wombat Baby here. That is a very, very low Lulu, but the Riptide has been dropped, and the Ball State unable to secure a pick. High Prince is hovering here as that Cassante in a bit of an awkward position, but is going to stop Ball State from jumping on IU outright, but they will go for it. And that is going to be such a low buy. The shutdown coming out for Blaster. Butler taking very, very little. Cassante, oh, High Prince is unstoppable. Now at 5 kills and 0 deaths, and that will be the mid tower for Ball State. You get a shutdown, but you lose your turrets and the dragon.
It is just a little too early for Ball State to be taking fights like this. Luckily for them, Wombat Baby is very, very good at Ahri. He was able to get some damage off unreciprocated right there at the beginning, allowing them to make one pick. However, they're just too far behind right now. They can't really continue fights past that, so they're going to lose Dragon. They're going to lose a lot of map pressure, a lot of vision control, and it's just looking tougher and tougher. We really need Xayah to finish up this second item, start working towards her third, and get on this map and start melting people, because that is really Ball State's only chance right now in my eyes.
Yeah, Ball State is going to be resting a lot of their hopes here on this Xayah as by far the most powerful member of the Ball State's team at the moment. Indiana has a really just unstoppable force in this Cassante, and the rest of Indiana is doing fairly well themselves. You've got a pretty solid CS lead in the mid lane, and this Vi has been a menace on the map. It's going to be difficult for Ball State, not impossible, however, as they are going to be grouping mid, potentially looking for a pick here.
Xayah did finish her second item, Navori Quick Blades. Quite a decent power spike for Xayah right now. Hopefully that is enough for Ball State to start winning some of these fights right here. We'll see as they try to take as much map control as they can. IU is clearing out Scuttle, getting vision all over Baron, preparing as much as they can for this Baron spawn. I think they might be looking to take it pretty early.
Ball State, known for taking Baron almost as soon as it spawns. Indiana appears to be emulating a similar philosophy here. There is so much vision control in the river, in the topside jungle, and there's not a ton that Ball State can really do to contest this. It's going to be quite difficult as the rest of Indiana is going to be moving on to this mid lane. Blaster is playing a bit far ahead here, knows that Indiana is there. They know that Cassante is top. Ball State actually just going to take this mid tower outright, but here comes the dive in from Undeaded. But Undeaded is still going to get massively, massively counter-engaged on Blaster 3 on a rampage. The TP is coming in from the side of Ball State. Wombat Baby taking down Loki Dosi, and this is finally the foothold that Ball State needs to start climbing back into this game. High Prince on the flank here. Silk Flannel going to just be walking in and getting a bit of damage off, but ultimately just going to disengage here. Ball State grabbing 2 picks, actually, and disengaging here, going to stop that potential 20-minute Baron from the side of Indiana.
That is exactly what Ball State wanted to see. Finish those Navori Quick Blades on Xayah. It is the damage they needed to win a fight. Xayah was melting through them right there. I think she got multiple of her E's off because of the Navori's cooldown reduction. Finally able to get a favorable fight, stop that quick Baron that IU was trying to set up. And now it looks like Ball State is playing for the top side of the map, looking to maybe contest Baron on their side. But they are stepping on some wards. IU knows they're there, but Ball State doesn't quite see all those wards. So IU is going to try to respond to that. It looks like they're just pushing out waves, making sure that they have as much map pressure as they can, as they have for the last 10 minutes or so.
The gold lead is exactly even at the moment. Both teams have taken 2 towers. We talked about how Ball State seems a bit far behind now, but now they are firmly cementing themselves back in this game. A Baron fight here is certainly possible, but it is a bit of a 50-50, and I'm not sure either team really wants to chance it at this point. You both have very, very strong numbers on either side of the engagement here, and a team fight could be risky. We are seeing Butler moving into the river, getting that vision control. Quokka following up for some support here, as we have once again both top laners are, well, in the top lane. I'm not really sure that either team wants to take a fight here. There isn't quite the numbers from either of them.
Both teams are really just playing a battle of vision control right now. They're trying to farm up their ADCs as much as they can, but really, yeah, they're just focused on getting as much vision as they can. They're putting down their own wards, clearing enemy wards. Really just trying to get as much map control as they can so that they can look towards Baron and take the Baron.
Yeah, you can see the side laners have been shoving those waves up. Blaster 3 is sitting on 240 CS now. Like I said, the man is just a farming machine. We do have that dragon coming up in less than a minute, and actually all of IU is moving through this bot side jungle. Quokka is going to be forced to queue out as Ball State is going to reset. IU making a play for this dragon.
IU is only 2 dragons off of Soul, and Soul is extremely powerful right now. I believe, I'm trying to see what Soul do we have going on this game.
That would be the Infernal. That cannot be the Infernal, actually, because that has already been taken. Oh, no, it is Infernal.
No, it is an Infernal Soul.
It is Infernal Soul. I just actually don't know how to read. Fun fact.
It is one of the most powerful souls in the game. It gives the team a huge damage boost, and IU is probably identifying that as their win condition this game, although they do not want to give Ball State this Baron for free as Ball State rotates topside looking to take the Baron, but IU says, no, we're going to take mid control and pressure mid and not just give you an open Baron. But they are walking back down towards the drag. They're going to start taking the drag, but are they just going to give Baron to Ball State? Ball State's not doing Baron.
Ball State not on this Baron, while Indiana University is on this drag. Silk Flannel has been kind of doing the classic solo queue top lane strategy of just, I'm going to stay on this side of the map until someone comes and gets me. That is going to be a dragon taken from Indiana, as Indiana is now going to be moving back into this mid lane, looking to rotate up to Silk Flannel, finally able to respond. Quokka is here to stop the unstoppable Cassante. High Prince is going to be kind of pounding on Quokka here. Quokka missed that hook and might be in a bit of a pickle, is going to flash out, but there's just so much CC that is just going to be slowing that escape, and I'm sorry, Quokka, but that missed hook will be your downfall. Absolutely disastrous for Ball State as Indiana now setting up for this Baron and just starting it outright.
Ball State's rushing in. They do not want to give this away for free. They might be one man down, but we have the Renekton TPing in. Can he maybe pick the Orianna here? He doesn't know she's there. They're walking up, running up to contest this Baron. Indiana looks a little hesitant to take the Baron all the way. They don't want to fully commit if just afraid of Ball State diving in on them.
They do have High Prince there. That Cassante is a scary proposition for all of Ball State. That Baron is getting quite low, and here comes the engage onto the team fight. High Prince dominating as Silk Flannel is immediately taken down, and the Lulu ults onto this fight. Oh!
Blaster with the beautiful E!
Blaster has an amazing E and is looking to get some more kills here. That is a double kill. Wombat Baby taking critically low, is going to get out. High Prince is super low here. Combo King going to take down Wombat Baby, but Blaster 3, by far the biggest source of damage for Ball State, is going to be chasing Indiana down. Bolick doesn't quite get the engage onto High Prince there. High Prince may be looking to live another day. Blaster wants it, Bolick wants it, but High Prince is just able to escape. Hiccup in a bit of a pickle here. That is just a Lulu. You do not have the speed boost from Shirelles. You have no summoner spells. Quokka just going to be going in, slowing that Lulu down, and Botlick going to grab a quick kill here. Ball State, against all odds, stops the Baron fight.
We started this game out talking about how insanely strong Blaster is in every game that we see. He doesn't miss CS, he doesn't miss kills, and he is showing what we were talking about right here. Despite having a quite large deficit being behind Indiana, they were even down a member right there. He's able to absolutely melt through IU's team right there.
Yep, and is going that full, he's just trying to take down this Cassante as quickly as possible. He's got the Navori, he's got the Kraken, he's got the Lord Doms building into that Guardian Angel, presumably for some survivability here. Ball State is ahead in gold. They've got 2 towers, and Indiana is just starting to look like they are struggling a bit here. They are on the back foot, but as we've seen from any fight that's been taken so far in this game, both these teams can just turn on each other in a second. This lead is by no means secure for Ball State.
That was just an absolutely brilliant fight from Ball State to finally come back in the game, but Quokka looks like he might get caught out here again. Silk Flannel knows he cannot help in this fight, so he's just going to run away, try to not make this a double pick on the side of IU. And IU takes down Quokka again. That's the second time he has been caught out in a row. Luckily for Ball State, it didn't really matter in the last fight. They still were able to win, but I think Indiana's going to push this this numbers advantage right here and recoup some of their losses from the previous fight.
Indiana is looking to move it down that mid lane, take some resources from the jungle. Quokka unfortunately getting caught out just a bit there. Ball State maybe getting a bit too adventurous with their forays into the river, but that does not really translate to much for Indiana here. They get a pick, they get some extra CS, some extra gold, but are unable to grab a tower, unable to really make a play on this Baron, and are looking to largely reset here, in fact. Just a nice pick for Indiana. It's going to give you some gold, but you are still behind in gold, about 2K to BSU. BSU kind of happy with that trade, all things considered.
Yeah, it was not a bad trade for them at all. We do have Dragon coming up here in 45 seconds. Let's see which team. Indiana really wants to lock this down, but Ball State does not want to give them that soul. So I imagine we're going to see quite a big fight coming up here in the Dragon Pit area.
Infernal Soul would be a massive boon for Indiana. You have some high damage, especially with that Aphelios, who's only going to scale as the game goes on. Ball State would really ideally like to avoid that, especially when combined with this tanky monster, High Prince, who in fact, it should be noted, has yet to die once in this entire game. Just really showcasing how absolutely terrifying Cassante is once you get a little bit of a lead in that top lane. Both teams looking for some kind of engage here. We do have Wombat Baby coming to join Ball State from quite a long ways away. The TP is coming out from Combo King. This is it. Could be do or die here. Quokka hovering that angle, looking for an engage. Boatlick going to just be tossing out that spear, unable to find much. The Dragon has been started. The onus is on Ball State to make something happen, and Indiana is not going to make it easy. Prince in the back there. Wombat Baby going to be engaging as Boatlick jumps on the Dragon, and it is stolen!
The Xin Chao smite steal!
I can't believe it! Combo King going to take that Wombat Baby, and Sothano going to take that Loki Toshi after that. And Ball State looking rather low, but there are a lot of resources available to them here as Ball State, as their HP bars are dropping lower and lower, and the escape for Blaster has run out, and that is a shutdown for High Prince, but not before Amended is taken down by Sothano. Combo King looking very, very low. Boatlick looking to get another pick here. That is a double kill for Cassante, taking down Silk Flannel. Off screen, it is Hiccup and High Prince. Boatlick is caught in a bit of a rock in a hard place, and unfortunately we are having a bit of an error at the moment at this crucial team fight, and I want to know what's going on. Boatlick here is still alive as we get back into the swing of things, is just trying to find some kind of kill, but the Lulu just has so much shielding, and that Cassante just will not die. Polymorph Flash coming out from Hiccup. Boatlick, how are you alive? And the ace coming out for Indiana.
It's looking a little rough for Ball State right here. However, they were able to stop the Dragon Soul steal. That is the thing that happened at the very beginning of that fight. Great, great smite from Boatlick. Sadly, they could not win the rest of the fight. In the end, who do you think came out on top there? I'd say Indiana came out slightly ahead, but despite them...
The shutdown onto the Xayah is really big for that Cassante. You can see he has so much armor already. I would love to see the stats on that. It looks absolutely terrifying. Has yet to die, and Indiana just feels really confident just starting this Baron right now, and why wouldn't you? You have an unkillable monster as your top laner. Ball State is a bit ahead in gold, still has those towers, still has some dragons here down, certainly, but not out. But this Baron, I don't think they can contest, and that's going to go straight to Indiana, and now Ball State is really, their back, it really feels like their back is to the ropes here, as this is Indiana's window of opportunity to really put the hurt onto the Ball State Cardinals.
Indiana's been behind for the last 10, 15 minutes, but now they take the lead in gold as the huge fight breaks out mid. Wombat Baby hitting absolutely everything he can onto the Cassante, but the Cassante takes 0 damage. He will not go down. He ults Quokka over the wall for the escape, and he is now turning on them. Takes down Quokka, 4v5 in the favor of Indiana. Aphelios diving in. Zanya's from the buy, but this Indiana is wiping them, cleaning up Ball State. This might be the game-winning team fight for Indiana right here. It is not looking good for Ball State.
Indiana will not quite be able to end off of that fight, but they are going to get so much out of it. And this Casante, once again, yet to die. High Prince has really been putting in the work here. Is almost level 18. And actually, I said Indiana won't be able to end here, but they are knocking on that inhibitor door, and you still have respawn timers in the double digits for Ball State. Wombat Baby making a valiant last stand here. Coco looking to make something happen as well, but there's just not a lot of damage. And that is an open Nexus. Wombat Baby going to be kited out and will be taken down. And that is Indiana University, your underdogs, taking a win against the favored people to win all of Battle of Indiana here, Ball State University. Wow.
What a close game. That was back and forth,
yes,
and forth.
That was a seesaw.
That I hope they play again. I want to see that again. That was crazy. I will say both of us pointed out during the draft. I told you I don't like Renekton. I feel like he loses a lot. You said that you weren't sure about the Xin Chao pick versus the Vi, and those are really the areas where Indiana was able to take the lead. They won the Casante top against Renekton. I'd say overall the Vi did more on the map than the Xin Chao did.
Yeah, it definitely felt like a lot of where Indiana's strength came from was in that top lane play. That Casante did not die once all game. High Prince kind of just establishing that lead early on and absolutely running with it. Really solid from there. And like you said, I felt like the Vi was just doing more. I really didn't see Xin Zhao make a lot. That steal was amazing, don't get me wrong, but it felt like overall in terms of impact, that was the jungle from the side of IU doing so much more there.
Yeah, I think both teams were playing a dive-centered focused comps, and I think Vi just does that a little more than Xin Chao. Xin Chao didn't have the damage or the CC they needed, and in the end, Indiana just showed that for that, they had the better team comp, they had the better players, and they were able to take the win.
Yeah, huge congratulations to IU, and it's really fun sort of watching this underdog story develop here, right? Ball State, it's a big esports program. They've got a lot of people. And seeing IU kind of just come together as like sort of these scrappy underdogs here is really inspiring. But we are going to be going to an interview with who I consider to be the MVP of that match, honestly, High Prince.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Okay. Sorry. So we were just talking about the outplay that you had during the top lane, the earlier one, right? Okay. So what was your thoughts going in on that? Like, cause you were not like the highest health, and you just had a Xin Zhao just like show up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
What was kind of going through your head when that happened?
Yeah, so I knew that I had a kill angle on the Renekton, and he had to flash away when I was comboing, so it was kind of, he was out of the fight. And I knew I didn't have a lot of HP, but with the healing that Casante gets and it's really insane amount of damage that he does, I knew that it was just another 1v1, and I was just looking at my cooldowns and waiting for them to come up because I was kiting backwards to pull the Renekton back into me so that I could cut through with my W and kill them both. So I just like watching cooldowns, and yeah, my champion's broken too. So
Yeah, exactly. Casante, we love him. So we actually had someone back there say something. I want to kind of get your thoughts on this. They think that Indiana is the dark horse to win this entire thing. What are your thoughts on that?
yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. We were the 3rd seed coming into this, so we shouldn't even be in like top 2. But our players, I think, are way underranked, like solo queue compared to how we perform in customs and in competitive matches. I mean, I haven't been playing the most solo queue, so it looks like I'm a D1 player, but I think the seeding is really misleading and might really allow for the teams to disrespect us, but I definitely think that we're a dark horse. We have some really, really good players, and we also have quite a big champ pool, so we are flexible and we are equipped for a lot of situations. I I have no doubt that we're going to take the tournament.
Awesome. Now, one last thing. You guys are going against, correct me if I'm wrong, Purdue Northwest for the winners upper bracket. How do you plan on preparing for that, going into it? Are you guys, like, concerned, nervous, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really worried about it. I'm pretty confident that I can play just about anything. And my teammates are strong, too, and I have a lot more confidence in them this time around. And so, you know, like I said, our ranks aren't the greatest, but I really think that we stack up well against anybody and everybody here. So I'm not worried about it at all.
Well, best of luck with the rest of this tournament. We're sending it to a break now. Thank you.
Thanks.